nice. Pedals, great. The main reason that I went with this over the only thing that I don't like about using the Bose. What can you say about the Bose S1 Pro? A lot of good stuff. You can say a lot of good stuff about this unit. I bought this to go with my acoustic rig. I do, an acoustic show, a solo guitar vocals type show, and I've been using the Bose LC for it. And I've been using this Fishman here. This has been my side rig to the Bose LC. I use this as a monitor, right next to me where I'm playing, and then the Bose LC has been behind me. And I love using this combo. It's been a great combination. I love the way the Fishman sounds. But what I've been running into is, as the gigs have been getting bigger, I've come to realize that this will no longer cover the same gig as a backup unit. And when I travel and do shows, I like to have 2 units with me that will be able to do the whole show in an emergency, or something, if something goes down and they don't have a backup sound system there. So that's what put me on the search for a new speaker. And so I was looking at other powered speakers, the EVs and Mackeys and all those kind of units, because I wanted to get a better sound projection too. One of the downsides with the Bose that I've found is when the way the technology works, the audience hears a great sound wherever they're at, and they can be a long ways back. And so because they feel like they can hear it powerfully in their ears, they think their phone's going to work. And so when they try to record you from a distance, they'll think the sound's going to work out great, and it's not going to work out great. Versus like a powered speaker, what I found is, if the sound is strong in your ears, typically with a powered speaker, the audience at that spot is going to get a pretty decent recording. I mean, not fantastic, but way better than, when I'm talking a bad recording from the Bose, from way back in the distance, it can be really bad, really bad. Because I've tried to get them myself, because, you want to get demo stuff for your website or whatever, and using the phones and all kinds of, I've tried all kinds of different, this Q8 that I'm using here to record this, I've used that live, and the sound just comes out horribly. So I've had to actually use the line out. I'll use the line out on the Bose to the Q8, and then of course I get good sound that way. But then I've got to be tethered. It's got to be tethered with a wire. So that's kind of the downside of doing it that way. But you do get really, really good sound that way, because you're getting a direct line in. Kind of the sweet mix. So I got this to replace the Fishman on stage with me, and so now I use this sitting kind of like it is now, only on I usually use a chair when I'm on stage, and so I'll usually typically use it like this next to me, and then I run my lines in, and then I can actually control and use it as a mixing board from the front stage. And then I line out from this to the LC, which is behind me. Now, I've tried this to use it solo on a nice sized show, and it worked fine. I had a little bit of trouble hearing it, but the audience didn't have any trouble at all. And so it's exactly what I needed for my purposes. Now I have 2 units that I can use in tandem, which is great, because you can throw sound all kinds of different directions. Works really good for wineries and things like that, because you get that 180-degree field on both sides. So if you actually have the Bose LC behind you, and you have the S1 in front pointing back, for doing things like wineries or places where you're in, like that central section, which is great, because it really, the Bose just kind of sends out that nice mellow sound. It doesn't punch you in the face with sound. You come in, like when an audience is coming into a restaurant or someplace where I'm playing, you can just see the music kind of land on them, and they just sort of versus where they hear that something piercing, and they kind of really look quick to find it. You can see when I'm using the Bose, the sound will just land on them, and they'll be like, oh boy, I hope we get a table soon, because this sounds pretty good, which is what I'm always going for with the Bose. So I run two, so I run from my pedal board and from my mic into this, and then I run line out from this into the line in. I turn the tone match off and run it into the line in, and then I have control here. And then I have another channel if somebody wants to join me on stage or something. I have another place where I can put a mic, and then you have that whole other section, which is kind of nice when using it in tandem this way. As you're really getting the extra channel. You get this channel for a mic, extra mic, and then I've got the auxiliary channel over here, which I run with Bluetooth from my phone. So any track that I make, I can put on my phone, and then I can bring it to the show, and I can run it right from there. And then when I take a break, start a little playlist, and then when I'm coming back from break, I can adjust the volume, to make kind of a statement, maybe drop it down so people kind of look around and go, oh, the show's getting ready to start again. So it really gives you, it's kind of convenient to be able to have that control right in your pocket. My pedal board here, that was going through an MXR Super Badass distortion into a blues driver, into a Wampler analog delay, and a Hall of Fame reverb church. I've been taking it out busking, and so I've been able to take my electric guitar out busking, playing there, and you can take it anywhere. I've took it out into the canyon, played there, sounds fantastic. You can't go wrong with these. To me, they're bulletproof. They do everything you need it to do. I've never had a quality issue at all. One other complaint: it doesn't come with a case. The Bose LC comes with a nice case that goes over it, and this didn't come with a case, and I scratched it up on one side. Like, I don't even know how I did it right off the bat, which is a little bit annoying when you spend $600 on a speaker and you end up with scratches on it right away. I mean, I know it'll get banged around, but that's the one thing. Bose, come on, give me a cover. I'm not going to go to the store. And you think I'm going to go down to the store? You know how long it took me to go down and buy this? I looked at so many speakers. What was the main thing that really got me? The main thing that got, now I'm so glad I got it now that I did, but the main thing that had me get this, because there was a nice Mackie speaker that was on sale. It was a used one that somebody had brought in, and I could have saved $200 because I would have gone and walked out with a great powered speaker, which I still want to get. But the battery backup, having battery backup, right? And I don't have to use an extra plug on stage, which is cool. But to be able to kind of like know that the show will go on no matter what, that makes me feel good. That just makes me feel good. So that is why I went with the Bose S1.